G'day viewers, happy arbitrary moment in the artificial construct we use to measure our planet's passage around our sun. I could have just said Happy New Year, but I'm edgy as fuck. You never know what I'm going to deconstruct next. Now, I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I am using this start of a new year, again, completely arbitrarily to rethink some things. And I said that in my end of year video, I'd be looking to develop, change, mutate, evolve over this year. And I'm starting by setting myself an arbitrary task, because these often help me do things. And I've decided for this first month, I'm going to try and upload a video every day. This is to get me going and to be producing and to always be thinking of what I can do here on the channel. Now, I'm not going to kill myself. And I've said this before, when once or twice a year I set myself this task of making a video every day. But if something comes up, I'm not going to kill myself. If I miss a day or two, that's fine. But I'll try and do it every day. So I'll be doing a video every day in January if nothing arises. And we can use that acronym to say this is VEDGINA videos. I've used that before, but you know, I love acronyms and puns and acronymical puns so much, I wasn't going to pass up the chance to do it again. I'm probably going to need help with suggestions of things to do videos on to come up with that many videos this month, although, hey, who knows, maybe such horrible things will happen in the news every day. I'll always have something to talk about. But by all means, in comments, if there's something that you'd always wanted to know my opinion on, fire away, or follow me on the social media. The link's in the description, so you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and you can tell me things there. Send me links that way, and I'll explore as many topics as possible for this month. As the first video, I was thinking of what do I think is going to be a big issue this year. Now, as I said in my end of year one, it's obviously Trump. For however long Trump is US president, shit's probably going to be spectacularly bad, and I'll have an enormous amount of material to go on with. And he's so unpredictable. It could be anything from the basic stuff him and his administration are definitely going to do, like fuck over minorities, to the spectacular possibilities of collapsing the world economy and causing large-scale war. And won't that be a worthwhile thing to make fun of on Twitter? Human misery. It's just such an endless well for creativity. But ignoring that fucking train wreck for the moment, I think I've seen a trend in stories towards the end of 2016, and I think this is going to be a dominant theme in 2017, and that is fake news. Now, that's not a new concept. Anyone sensible who looks at Fox News, for instance, goes, they slant their material so much that even when they're not outright lying, which they're regularly proven to have done, they're distorting things so much there is no value. You couldn't call it objective reporting. It's political sloganeering. But they've even been outdone by sites like Breitbart and the truly crazed InfoWars and sites like that that just make insane shit up and slant actual events so heavily that it becomes absolutely meaningless. And of course, it's terrifying that a lot of people use these things as a primary news source. So the whole fake news thing, people started talking about it towards the end of last year, and I think it's going to be big. And for me, the biggest problem is how meaningless the term itself is. I mean, what do people mean by fake news? Do they mean something like Fox News that is so politically distorted that its objective value is negligible? Do they mean when people actually deliberately falsify stories, like propaganda? Do you mean propaganda presented as fact? Is that fake news? I mean, for that matter, there's sites like The Onion, which are satirical sites, which people repeatedly circulate as if they're true. And that's obviously fake news because it's intended to be seen as fake news. So what do people even mean by the term fake news? Facebook in particular was exposed there were a lot of sites on it that were news sites where the people were deliberately spinning outrageous lies just to generate clicks. They weren't even that politically motivated. They were mainly motivated by the opportunity to make money. So what do people even mean when they say fake news? And I've already seen it being subverted. And I mean, definitely in America, sorry, all my American friends, but your media and politics is an ugly caricature. And people around the world are looking on in horror, as per usual. But people who are saying anything they don't agree with, regardless of the factual grounding, they go, that's fake news. And because the ideas got planted in people's heads that fake news is a thing, now people like climate change deniers just go, that's fake news, because that doesn't fit in with what I want the world to be. I'll declare it to be fake news. It's happened in Australia. Politicians from the governing coalition have said this, like our national broadcaster, their ABC, because it ran some negative stories on this coal mine the government's planning to subsidise to the tune of $1 billion, calling it into question because several objective reports have given, well, you clearly don't give a shit about the hideous environmental destruction that will almost certainly come out of this, but economically this is bullshit. And people go, no, it's not. Well, why would the government be giving them $1 billion loan if it was commercially viable? It's absolutely ridiculous. And because the ABC ran stories critical of the Adani coal mine, one of the LNP mob goes, oh, the ABC and their fake news. Get fucked, you irresponsible, shit-sucking fucking turd. I wasn't intending to get this angry, but even as I just started to articulate it, the level of irresponsibility required to say this makes me really fucking angry. These people are supposed to be running the country, and just because an objectively reported story makes their policy look bad, they don't just say, I disagree. They spin this fake news. It's fucking offensive. And they just get away with it. This is what shits me. People in governments, politicians, media, big companies, they just say ridiculous shit that it's trivially easy to prove is untrue, and they're never held to account. They never suffer anything. For fuck's sake, look at Trump as president. There is no way he deserves that. He's fucking contemptible scum. He's a lying piece of shit. He's the worst fucking used car salesman on the planet, but his bullshit was never called to account, and now he's fucking president. What the fuck is that about? And this is why we have a problem with fake news. All these people in power know they can lie with impunity, even if their lies are exposed, even if they basically have to acknowledge that's not real, like the Bush administration and weapons of mass destruction. Their official line was eventually that intel was wrong. But talk to Republican supporters of the Gulf War and you will still get a majority say, oh no, the WMDs were there, even when the Bush administration's official line is, no, they weren't. So how do we deal with fake news? Obviously, there is a grey area where it's like, well, it depends on how you interpret that, whether you think it's true or not. But when there's so much that's blatant lies and deliberate lies and premeditated lies and repeated lies, what do? I mean, there was this ridiculous proposal in the European Parliament, and this, Brexit people can grab onto this and say, see, this is why we wanted to get out, because the EU often says ridiculously fucking stupid things. They've tried to destroy the internet half a dozen times, and there was this proposal put forward of prosecuting websites who don't stop fake news. And again, look, on the surface you go, yeah, Facebook should take down fake news, or the other sites that are fake news should be taken down. You can make that sound good, but who the fuck is an arbiter of that? The politicians? The people who have been exposed repeatedly as being the people pushing out fake news? Do they get to say something they don't like is fake news? Now, I highlighted Breitbart and InfoWars before. I fucking hate them. They're blatant liars. They're neo-Nazi fucking scum. They're worthless fucking garbage. But they use that defense as well. They're saying, well, who gets to say what we say is fake news? And I actually agree. The idea of a government authority taking stuff down and declaring that to be fake news is obviously doomed to fail, either through incompetence, ignorance, or malice. It can't possibly work. The idea of a government instrumentality, whether it's the politicians themselves or some fucking bureaucrat getting to declare that's fake news, I demand it be taken down. All you can do is pressure responsible media outlets to say, hey, fucking face up to the fact that wasn't real. Print a retraction, print the correct information. For the loons like Alex Jones and InfoWars, that's a lost fucking cause. That, you know, I think he lost himself in performance a long time ago. Many not bright people, when they see me doing an angry rant, go, oh, you're going to have a stroke, your blood pressure's too high. I'm not like that all the time. And in fact, what I do here is performance. That doesn't mean I'm not angry, and it definitely doesn't mean I don't believe what I say. I've never put something out that I can think of that wasn't what I actually believe. But the angry bit is performance. It's meant to accentuate the point. It's meant to provide some entertainment as well. And that's clearly what drives a lot of Alex Jones's lunacy, is performance. But when you look at him, it seems like he lost himself in that performance quite a while ago. And I don't think he can be sensible anymore. Like, he's done such insane shit, and he has to keep pushing it further and further to ratchet up the stakes. I think he's lost in that. I don't think it's possible for him to behave as a remotely sane person. So I wouldn't even waste time saying, hey, InfoWars, you should correct that. Because he's a loon and he's so politically biased, that's pointless. And yeah, as I said, I think the idea of government having oversight of this is fake news, that's wrong. But for more responsible outlets, whether that's traditional media, whether that's Google or Facebook, I think proper application of, you know, pressure, just people saying, hey, no, that's not right, is it? And they can actually respond, either backing what they've done and said, that's staying up for these reasons, or saying, yes, that was actually fake news and we should do something about it. That's as far as I think we can take it. The idea of it becoming law is so unworkable and would so go the wrong way. It's just ridiculous to contemplate it. So it's not surprising that politicians have proposed, hey, why don't we decide what's fake news? Yes, that's the fox in charge of the hen house right there. So apart from Trump, my prediction for this year, the theme I'll keep coming back to again and again, and will keep being in the media around the world, is fake news. What is fake news? Who's pushing fake news? What's the agenda? What's real? What isn't? I'm going to do my level best. People who disagree with me politically always say, oh, you're just parroting this. And I disagree. I had probably been guilty of repeating things that I had no way of knowing whether they were true or not. But there's a difference between having grounded beliefs and just chattering talking points. That, you know, you can just tell when politicians repeat the same phrase over and over, and that's all their supporters come back with, you know they've got nothing to offer. And that's something I try to avoid. And fake news is definitely going to be one of the biggest talking points this year. I'm going to do my best to keep on top of it and keep dialogue happening here through the comments and whatnot. And we'll see if we can't deal with fake news this year. So come along with me. Like I said, follow me on the social media. Send me suggestions for videos, more both this month and into the future. In the comments, we'll see what we can come up with. And hey, if you like what I do, want to help out, best thing you can do is share via social media. Tell your friends who haven't worked out this is where the truth is. They should come here, because everything else is fake news. I'm the only one telling you the truth.